Alrighty, I don't know if you guys have seen, okay, but it's been all over my Twitter feed about this Roblox Predator drama. So basically, to give you like a little bit of context, there have been a lot of creators over the past year or so that have been making videos catching predators on Roblox by the likes of Gideon. We've watched another video by another creator at one point, and another guy that was doing this was this guy named Schlep. I think it's Schlep. Schlep was one of the bigger creators that did it with Gideon a lot. Roblox got mad at him for doing this, and I assume it's because it's bad PR for Roblox. However, the only problem is they're protecting predators when doing this. And I think the problem with games like Roblox is I genuinely believe the chat features are not restricted enough for it to be advertised for kids. Because if you're an adult playing Roblox, you don't need in-game voice. Okay, you have your friends on Discord, right? So I feel like they need to limit the chatting features on these games that are advertised for kids. Because guess what? When a game is advertised for kids, it's advertised for predators too. If you're saying this is for kids and people that want to prey on kids are going to be like, oh, for kids, and flock to it as well. I'm going to pretty much go over the drama and deep dive with you guys. I don't really know what's going on either. But if you're into this sort of stuff, don't forget to subscribe. I go live every day at 6 p.m. Central on Twitch. Check out the first link in the description. So first let's watch a recap video by Mujin covering the whole thing. And it's called How to Destroy Your $80 Billion Company Overnight.
Jeffrey Epstein was a man of many different identities. Some would know him as a very rich Wall Street investor. Others would have doubts that he's affiliated with a foreign intelligence agency. One thing was certain though, this man was a diddler. And throughout the many decades of his life, he'd make it a point to collect as many victims as he could. But even though he had so much money and power, it didn't necessarily mean that it was going to be easy. Our poor little Jeffrey would have to do all of the work by himself personally, isolating victims and taking advantage of them. Luckily for him, at some point in his life, he would get helped by his assistant, Ghislaine Maxwell. But man, it must have been such hard work to ruin all these poor innocent young girls' lives. And one can't
This is a crazy intro for a Roblox video, might I add.
What if Jeffrey was born 20 or 30 years later? What if he was simply born in the wrong generation? Because if he had waited just a bit longer, he would have been able to do all this for free and with no need to have hundreds of millions of dollars and powerful connections in society. All he'd have to do is make one
Roblox account on
a platform called Roblox. A game.
All right, yo, listen, gotta give it to you. Yo, W intro. W intro. No, that was that. You really hook, line, and sinker me with that. Okay, you learned how to make a good thesis statement. Okay, I know you did. You little smarty.
Children, all while doing their absolute best to protect the people who would seek to hurt them the most. Predators. This has been an ongoing problem for way too long, spanning many years, featuring articles like this written by Bloomberg.
And like I said, I feel like any platform that is advertised for kids, you really have to think it's also advertised for predators too. Like, if you don't have that mindset, you're setting people up for failure. And I genuinely do believe, like, I got groomed as a kid, okay, on a platform made for kids, okay, from Wizard 101. I mean, I eventually talked to them on Skype and other means and through Discord and stuff, so it wasn't just through the native platform. But Roblox has way more and less restricted chat features than Wizard 101 does. So, and it's way more popular and advertised for younger kids than Wizard 101 was. So, like, I don't know. I think the fact that people don't consider like kid platforms are advertised to kids as much as they are to predators is crazy. Like, you really have to think about it like that.
Roblox pedophile problem.
I don't think
many games such as these, spaces made specifically to attract minors and do some very weird things with them. You'd have such disturbing cases pop up in relation to this game and what it does to minors that for most people, while outraged, couldn't really do much except watch with horror on the sidelines. But now, after a major incident involving Roblox's executive team and its own CEO, it's facing its biggest existential threat to date. You have a U.S. congressman by the name of Ro Khanna publicly calling them out and making a petition to hold them accountable. You have the Attorney General of the state of Louisiana suing Roblox directly and calling the platform the perfect place for pedophiles. The company is now facing multiple lawsuits over child safety, and some of its biggest and most well-known content creators are quitting its incentive program and pretty much boycotting the game. This has been such a shit show that Chris Hansen himself, the man known from the show...
I'm gonna give a nuanced, or no, probably an unpopular opinion. I think Chris Hansen needs to pack it up. No, because here's why. If any of y'all don't know, first and foremost, let's get one thing straight. Chris Hansen is an entertainer. He's not a cop. He's not a predator expert. He's not a detective. So people need to stop treating him as such. And I think people are, and that's screwing over a lot of victims. Because I remember, I don't know if y'all remember with the Onision stuff, YouTuber back in the day was doing a lot of crazy stuff, like torturing people, like essentially causing manic episodes in people that he would date on purpose. Like he was insane. And he did some stuff with kids or whatever. And Chris Hansen was getting involved. And Chris Hansen took the evidence before giving it to police and essentially tampered with it and made it where the investigation was void and they couldn't use the evidence to help book him and catch him because it went through this second party prior to going to the police, and it got broadcasted and it became a whole thing. So I think there needs to be a discussion of like, we need to stop treating him as like some sort of detective or investigator or authority figure, because he has actively f***ed up various investigations by being treated as such. And that's also why I'm not the biggest fan of a lot of predator hunting content, is I feel like it can also screw up active investigations, and you're essentially helping the predators by trying to expose them for entertainment. So I feel like he can talk about it. He can maybe advocate for it, but we should not take Chris Hansen as treat him as a detective. And I think a lot of people do that, and he keeps doing it because that's all he's known for. That's how he stays relevant. You know,
To Catch a Predator has come out of retirement to make a documentary about Roblox. And speaking of Roblox, they've lost over $12 billion in market capitalization in
I didn't know it was
just
worth that
24
much.
hours after they had conducted a disastrous live stream in which they tried their best to apologize. Guys, I say this
Not
with
a live
no
stream.
Exaggeration. Roblox is facing its biggest existential
Always the live
threat
streams,
yet.
man.
But why? These predators have been running free for years. What changed now? Well, let's talk about it. Even though I'm on vacation, I got myself a laptop because I knew something was going to happen as soon as I went on vacation. And here we are. So without further ado, let's do this. All right, so 13.8 billion years ago, the most important event in history occurred. The creation of the universe itself, dubbed the Big Bang. Humans would arrive way later, and throughout our history, we'd achieve
pack it up,
many
Muji. What are you
great
doing?
things. We'd also, unfortunately, destroy many great things. All of this led up to the second most important date in humanity's history, which was September 1st, 2006, when Roblox had
the death of humanity.
released.
Listen, I've never been a fan of Roblox. Okay, I've been a hater since day one. Okay, even before the controversies. Okay, I've been a hater since day one because I just think it's a platform with a bunch of games. Okay, but like now I have a reason to hate it. Let's go. Now that's how people on Twitter be when like people get canceled. They're like, yes, I finally have a reason to hate this person. Like, you miserable
Now you have to understand, back then, this was a ridiculous idea for a game. This concept of having an empty game that's meant to be populated by games made by players was alien, and it was so incredibly niche. I can say this myself because I was there at the beginning, back in 2010 when I created my account. I'm not going to show my character name because Roblox is probably going to ban me for this video, but look at my drip. I'm still wearing a Disney XD shirt, okay, and a helmet.
Bro, I forgot about Disney
had
XD.
collaborated with Disney XD. That's like ages ago. Back then, there was still another currency called tickets in parallel to Robux. You earned tickets just for playing. The most popular game at the time looked like this. It was a very bare bones FPS. When I would tell my friends about Roblox, they'd look at me like I'm crazy, like I'm weird. It definitely had a very rough start, and I'm sure the team behind it had moments where they were like, wait, is this gonna fail? But then, a couple years later, Minecraft would release and would gain massive popularity throughout the years that followed.
Yeah,
At the same
Minecraft
time,
did
the
kind of
concept
put Roblox on in some weird way.
modding would become very popular within the gaming community. One of the best examples of this was Elder Scrolls V Skyrim.
Like, I only
released in
heard about Roblox
2011
because of
and had
Minecraft.
A very well-rounded mod creation kit, giving this game more longevity than anyone could have ever predicted. Over time, the expectations that gamers had for a video game started to change. This is when you'd have both millennials and especially Gen Z expect more from their games, either in terms of content you initially get when buying the game or with content that players can produce. And soon enough, this game that had gone all in into the concept of user-generated content finally started bearing the fruit of their labor. In 2012, they had reached a very big milestone. 149 different user-created games had reached over 1 million plays.
Oh!
And in that same year, 2012, they had launched on iOS, with Android following a couple years later. They had seen early on how
I
big
love how
the mobile
Roblox's
market-
branding is like intentionally looking like is the brand. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That's crazy to me.
It was going to be for games, and this helped them
I guess that works for kids, though.
Catapult into being one of the most played games of all time, reaching other platforms soon after, like consoles.
It's like that logo is abysmal, bro.
The monthly
active users like people eat up the game, so
hundreds of millions, with them reaching an average of 380 million monthly average players in 2024. And
300, how many does League of Legends get? 160. That's only, League is only on PC though. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, League is beating this. If this was only PC, this would be like halved.
An absolutely ridiculous number that was helped a lot by the pandemic. As you can see, by the end of 2019, they had 113 million monthly active users, and by the beginning of 2021, they had
you guys mobile nowadays? Yeah, but they don't count that. That's considered Wild Rift. It's a different game, so it doesn't factor into the statistics.
That number, effectively going from 100
League's
million
the most
to
popular
200 million, just
PC exclusive game.
Like it was nothing. But you see, having active players is cool, but seeing that all this content is generated by other players, how do you even make money? Well, Roblox from the beginning had a currency called Robux. The only way to earn it is buying it, and it's the only way you can buy cosmetics for your character to make them look different. Now, for a long time, most developers thought, well, listen, if we want to make a lot of money, we got to target the adult single male demographic that has a lot of income ready to spend.
Yep.
This is what gacha games did, for example, and it was a massive success.
That works.
But Western developers had a harder time.
Listen. The most profitable group of people in gaming is lonely men. Lonely adult men, okay? That is the most profitable group, okay? It is. The incels are fun, like low-key, we got to give them their props, okay? Y'all might be like misogynistic and disturbed, but you know, we wouldn't have a lot of these games without y'all. So, you know, shout out to my incels.
Doing so. Roblox, on the other hand, came in and completely rewrote this entire philosophy. You see, when you make a free game targeting children, they're all gonna play it. And eventually, once they get very attached to the game and want to customize their character, guess who's paying for Robux?
Mommy's credit card.
Parents. Look at this thread on Reddit here. Anyone else tired of their kids asking for Robux? Or how about this?
Yo, my favorite gift as a kid was getting like Wizard 101 prepaid cards, like them $10 ones, bro.
How to convince your parents to buy you Robux on Roblox, sitting at over 111,000 views. And other than the fact that parents were absolutely losing their minds over their kids asking for Robux, you'd also have articles like this pop up. A 24-year-old Roblox
Damn, what am I doing, bro?
$1 million a year shares how he launched his own game development studio. After earning $100,000 in 1 month from one of his games while he was an intern, he left college. So on one hand, you were making...
I'm gonna be poor forever. Oh God, I'm gonna be. Yo, guys, like and subscribe, man. I got nothing else going for me. I have bills. I have a chronic disease. Please.
Money from kids begging their parents for Robux, and on the other, you were attracting young talent that had massive potential with the idea that they could be millionaires if they made.
Oh God, I think I probably could make a good Roblox game though.
I mean, at this point, other developers were looking at Roblox
because I used to like cook on my other game developing platform.
And they were
when I was like 13, bro.
How did we miss this gold mine? How could we not see that the next step in gaming was going to be user-generated content? The video game industry, ever since 2022,
also,
has
you
been
want to know
going
what's crazy? Roblox is so genius because literally the devs for Roblox don't have to do that much. Everything that makes money is user-generated, and then they just take a cut off of it. It's like Steam. Steam's not making games. They're not making games. But they make money off of every game that's made.
An apocalypse with over 35,000 jobs lost between 2022 and 2025. One of the only companies that didn't go through any mass layoffs was Roblox, completely avoiding the current video game slump.
They built an entire game engine. That is true, though. They did do that.
For gamers, for other companies, Roblox was unstoppable. But if you've watched any of my other videos, you understand that the story doesn't end with success. If anything, the biggest problems arise once you finally find that success. And Roblox had a reckoning coming. As I mentioned, this game was targeting children. And that's exactly what it got. 56% of Roblox users are under the age of 16.
And then like the adult population is either predators, okay, and the girly pops. I'm so serious. The girly pops love Roblox. The girly pop adults, okay. Every girly pop, gays and days, they love themselves some Roblox. All right, I don't know what it is. They might play no other video games, but they got Roblox. I swear to God. Every normie got Roblox.
I'm very glad they specified age of 16.
I'd be like, you play video games? I play Roblox sometimes. I'm like, Shelly, come on now. Video games. Not Roblox, video games. Like,
teen or just minors in general, because now all the cringe lords that would normally type, well, actually 16 is legal in some states, can't. This means that 56% of Roblox players are not legal in any way, shape, or form. They can't give consent about anything.
is 16 the lowest in the US? Oh yeah, it is. Damn, it's 16 in a lot of places, bro.
In fact, Roblox, the company, would go even further and say, according to the company, their monthly player base includes half of all American children under the age of 16. These guys have more of a monopoly on American children than schools do, and they spend over 6 hours a day there. And so, of course, even though they had figured out how to make a lot of money, Roblox had a very big problem. When a platform attracts such a huge population of children,
a huge population of
they're faced
predators.
with a very big responsibility, which is keeping them safe. And unfortunately, Roblox would do such an abysmal job keeping anyone safe on their platform to the point where the worst kinds of people took notice. And they took full advantage of that. Roblox blew up during the pandemic. That's something everyone is aware of. But even before 2020, you would start seeing articles like this popping up, saying deputies say Vero Beach man used popular video game platforms to target children. Scott used popular video games such as Roblox, a multiplayer online game, to coerce children as young as 10 into sending naked photos in exchange for virtual gaming currency. In 2020, the Daily Mail would write, Roblox computer game is under fire for secret red light district where young kids are exposed to digital sex parties, racial slurs, and players solicit nudes and link to graphic images.
Bro, yeah, I've heard about this. There are some games or like games Roblox that are made to be like erotic or whatever. Let me give you a scenario. A lot of kids' first discovery or interaction into like NSFW content is not something they wanted to find or were looking for. They normally stumble upon it through stuff like this, like Roblox, or like an inappropriate ad pops up, you know, or like somehow they end up on a link to a different site. You never really look for it. So I feel like a lot of the way when you're a kid and you see something like that, you're very curious and you're like, oh, what is this? And if your hormones are just starting, because you're starting puberty, you're very like in tune to look at it, and then you'll kind of get into it. And that's why a lot of kids, even nowadays, have like addictions. And it's so normalized is because versus like our parents' generation or whatever, it was not a thing that people really talked about or engaged in because it wasn't A, as readily available, and B, you didn't accidentally stumble upon it. The first time I accidentally stumbled upon like erotic stuff on the internet, I think I was like 8, bro. No, I wasn't 8. I was like 13. The first time I saw anything erotic was like my parents put on the internship, and it was the unrated version and not they had 2 versions, the theater version, which was PG-13, and the unrated version, and we bought the wrong one, and half the movie was in a strip club. But aside from that,
including an image from an investigation that CBS had conducted in this game with a player model
I'm 14, want to get freaky on Snap. Yo, I'm surprised Snapchat also ain't getting no class action lawsuit for stuff like this too, because that platform encourages this sort of stuff as well.
Naked saying, I'm 14, who want get freaky on Snap? The Rolling Stone would also write an article about this, saying, inside the underground strip club scene on kid-friendly gaming site Roblox.
Wait, the Rolling Stone makes stuff that's not about music?
And play games. Now, some are earning Robux giving lap dances in virtual clubs. It was becoming very evident for anyone who was like Jeffrey Epstein that because children relied on their parents to get Robux, sometimes those parents might say no. So if
this is stinky monkey, bro. Like, what is this? What is this, bro? What, yo?
Way to earn these
banana
Robux by doing some very illegal things, the odds of that happening were definitely in the predator's favor. Some of these articles I'm seeing are heartbreaking. These children were sending inappropriate images of themselves for as little as $5 for like 500 Robux. This wasn't just because they were naive and completely innocent because, you know, they're children. And
wait, actually, this is kind of how my groomers got me, though. I ain't gonna lie. Like, low-key, they was buying me Wizard 101 packs and... Yo, this is the strat. Yo!
Cosmetics.
Okay, but mine was a streamer. It's a little bit different.
Having Robux in this game that they probably spend so many hours on also meant power. This is a whole other topic for a separate video, but having played Roblox myself recently, I can tell you right now that every single top game on this platform is so painfully and obviously pay to win. It's the most shameless thing I have ever seen in gaming.
That's part of the reason why I hate Roblox.
You could be playing a quote-unquote skill-based game, and if you die, you can revive yourself by paying money and just
oh my god, players. I remember one time My friends were playing a game and they put in money to revive, and these little kids they were playing with like on like the randoms in their lobby were like, that's not fair. You keep reviving with money. And my friend was like, yeah, kid, when you finally get a job, maybe you can revive with money too. And bro was like, I'm 12. This is unfair. Just in the little text chat, they just kept reviving and laughing at the kids getting mad. That was sending me, bro. It was sending me. Like they got like streamer money, did not give a flying like, yo.
When you give a currency this much power in children's heads in a game that they play for hours upon
Also,
hours
I do think,
every
like,
single day and make friends in and make a community
I
in,
do think there should be laws about like gambling or like gotcha roulette stuff when the game is targeted at kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think pay to win stuff should be a little bit more reeled in.
Free Epstein's of this world will take notice,
because that's like gambling
essentially,
essentially,
and take advantage of the entire situation. Why bother putting yourself in danger by going on forums or Instagram or Snapchat? Why risk getting caught by law enforcement posing as a child when you have 56% of people playing this game being children? When you can get illegal favors from them for as little as $5? And more importantly, the platform you're on barely takes any actions against people like you. That was just the icing on the cake at that point. Around the end of 2023, a YouTuber by the name of Ruben Sim would create a video titled, "Do Roblox Reports Really Work?" in which he would find people going against TOS, targeting children, being disgusting, reporting them multiple times, and not getting a single one of them banned.
This and then, but you know, they banned the name and word Quackity for like a year. Like, you could not type Quackity or have your username as Quackity on Roblox for like a year. Like, they cared about that because he had all of his viewers join a lobby and it crashed the game. But God forbid you're diddling kids
through the report system, showing just how ineffective Roblox was.
We don't care. Like, what?
And literally indirectly protecting these disgusting people. This problem would get so bad that the National Center on Sexual Exploitation would include it in its Dirty Dozen list in 2023.
Dirty Dozen. Oh my God, Kick was crazy, bro. Now, the amount of kids I knew in like middle school that were like just sending like on Kick is insane. Kick was the first offender of this in my opinion. Like, the first place, like, bro.
Dirty Dozen list is an annual campaign calling out 12 mainstream entities for facilitating, enabling, and even profiting from sexual abuse and exploitation. Roblox has been an honorary member of
this. Okay, you cannot put the App Store on this, bro. No, like, I ain't gonna lie. The App Store is crazy. And GitHub? You putting GitHub in the App Store? Like, what GitHub in the App Store doing, bro? They just a place where you can put apps, bro. Like, they're not the apps themselves, man. Like, GitHub is crazy. What did GitHub do, bro? Like, what?
List every single year ever since being first included. But they wouldn't budge. The incidents would keep getting worse. A man was charged in kidnapping an 11-year-old that he met through Roblox. And still, radio silence. If you ever brought up this issue, they would say, well, hey, we have parental controls. You could set your child's age and it wouldn't show them adult-themed games. And you could even block certain games that you don't want your child accessing. But setting the age on a game was
also, I feel like doing this as a parent and then being like, beep boop, beep boop, beep boop, I'm gonna do other stuff. You're irresponsible, okay? My mom was up my ass on the internet, bro, okay? And the only time she wasn't up my ass on the internet was when I was like 15 and I was teaching her about how not to get doxxed and stuff. Cause she was like, oh damn, you got this figured out. But prior to that, like they were like I was playing the game in the kitchen with my parents like behind me the whole time, bro. It's only when I got sick and started getting hospitalized that they were more hands off. And that's because at that point I was teaching them about internet safety stuff they didn't even know about. Because my sisters were doing dumb shit, you know? I was telling them like, yo, you got to tell them to stop doing this.
Creators' responsibility, and most of them set it to all ages. Why wouldn't they? They want the most players, right? And Roblox never checked that. And as for the games that the parents can block, there was a limit of 100. Bear in mind, Roblox has tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands.
Nah, limiting the block games is crazy.
So see if that helps. The Roblox community, content creators, local media outlets.
Because all of this is a text file being like, yeah, disable the game.
Turkey banned Roblox.
One line of code, bro. You can only do 100.
Child endangerment. But we'd hear nothing from this company. They wouldn't address this as if it didn't exist. They were clearly making a lot of money. Investors were very happy with how well the stock was performing. And it seemed like shareholder interests were above anything else, even child safety. So they simply didn't care and were hoping it would go away while they still printed money. Well, that was until 2024. when even Wall Street took notice and threatened their reputation.
The game allows
like
to probably work better than the block list.
before.
That's smart, actually. Yeah.
Hindenburg Research is a forensic financial research firm that's fairly well known and respected on Wall Street. They specialize in writing very damaging reports about companies conducting fraud and other weird, suspicious, illegal activities. They have a solid track record exposing corrupt companies and cooperating with the US government to bring them to justice. And while all of this might sound amazing from a moral standpoint, it's also tied to how they make money. You see, in the stock market, you can either buy a stock or you can buy contracts. The two most popular contracts are a call, in which you're betting an amount of money that a stock is going to go up at a certain date, and a put, otherwise known as a short, in which you're betting an amount of money that at a certain date a stock is going to go down.
Start shorting your Roblox stocks now.
If you end up being right about either a call or a short, you stand to make a lot of money, in some cases over 100 times the amount. But if you end up
Shorting
being
is so
wrong,
risky, though.
You lose everything. Hindenburg would be very transparent.
Shorting is so risky, though.
Report about a corrupt company, they would buy a sizable short position to put their money where their mouth is, but also to straight up make money. A lot of it.
Okay, is that legal? Is that not like insider I mean, I guess it's not insider trading, but you shorting a stock and then dropping a hit piece on it, like, is that not like manipulation? Like, that's legal? You can do that? That's not like considered insider trading? Like, I don't know.
On October 8th, 2024, they would come out with this report titled Roblox, Inflated Key Metrics for Wall Street and a Pedophile Hellscape for Kids. Now, you have to understand, this title by itself...
I feel like, though, if they do this and it's false, though, they stand to lose a ton of money, though, because they would get sued up the ass.
Bombshell. Even by Hindenburg Research's standards. When this dropped, all of Wall Street was talking about it because it was pretty much attacking the two most important things that Roblox had pride in: its very high player counts and its kid-oriented demographic. Hindenburg Research would show up, well, with research and show us that a big chunk of this player count is actually a bunch of alts and bots, showing us just how easy it is to create multiple different accounts and how a huge chunk
you don't even need to verify your email on Roblox.
Sometimes half in some of the most popular games on the platform came from both Vietnam and the Philippines, countries that sold many services to emulate multiple accounts on their machines with the goal of farming as much currency as they can in some of the most popular games in order to sell the account later.
This is like Bitcoin mining, but like instead of Bitcoin mining, you're like mining children to like steal their parents' wallets.
A former Roblox employee would talk to Hindenburg Research and say internally, there is awareness that a lot of this activity was happening in Vietnam when these sort of things occurred, and that inflated a lot of our numbers. Like crazy, insane in terms of engagement, daily active users, and stuff like that. Hindenburg points out that even though Roblox has all these hundreds of millions of monthly active users, it hadn't made a single profit since 2021. Since going public on the stock market, losing $2.6 billion in 3 years. This section had directly attacked Roblox as a company, how they operate, their financials, and it concerned some of their top investors in Wall Street. But while this report so far only served to hurt their wallets, the next section would only serve to make them want to puke when they realized that Roblox was nothing more than a playground for pedophiles. They would point out that in 2023, the National Center on Sex Exploitation bluntly told the Roblox CEO, extensive evidence suggests that Roblox has not sufficiently prioritized child protection and has struggled to implement safety practices commensurate with its growth, resulting in a proliferation of exploitative and harmful content and predatory behavior. They would also mention the Dirty Dozen list that we saw earlier, as well as Bloomberg's article. Hindenburg would go on to show us many different incidents from 2019 to 2024 in which predators were arrested for having kidnapped, raped, or even traded sexual content with minors thanks to Roblox. But they weren't just going to end it here. Hindenburg took it a step further and actually tested out just how safe this platform was on their own time. They attempted to set up an account under the name Jeffrey Epstein, only to see that
the username was Jeff Epstein supporter. Yo, that's crazy. Nah, that is crazy. Y'all, yo, nah. You got this as the username and it didn't ban you?
The name was taken along with 900 plus variations. They had found one account in particular called Jeff Epstein supporter that had earned multiple badges for spending time in kids games.
Well, in kids games, every game on this website is a kid game though.
The guy with the username Minors and another one, I'm not even going to read that out loud, but it's ridiculous. After this incredible revelation, just barely a few minutes after creating their account, they would register
over 600 Diddy games, including Survive Diddy and Run from Diddy Simulator. And the thing is, like, little kids probably think the Diddy stuff's funny because, like, I did learn, because they don't understand the gravity of it because they're kids, bro. That's the problem. When something like this becomes so mainstream, like the Diddy thing did, and people are making jokes about it, the kids start to pick up on these jokes and not understand what is actually being joked about. Kids are probably playing Survive Diddy unironically, not realizing like how horrible Diddy actually is, you know?
As a child, more specifically as a 9-year-old. They would then type Diddy in the search bar and would see many different games featuring Diddy, with some titled Diddy Party, Freaky Diddy Simulator, Diddy Survival, Midnight at Diddy's Party, and things such as Escape to Epstein Island. They would then mention how Roblox claims it reviews every single image, video, and audio file uploaded to Roblox. While Hindenburg would join a game with the name School Simulator, a game that had over 29 million visits and had 0 age restrictions, and within just a few minutes, a player took out a sign with a massive sausage on it. This was literally within a...
Wait, so you can upload images to the text chat? Why is that a feature on a platform where it's supposed to protect kids? Like, there's not enough restrictions, bro. This is too loosely used. Like, it's too loosely used, in my opinion.
Few minutes of joining School Simulator.
Like, I remember in Wizard 101 when I would play, the text chat was very restrictive, and the only way you could get open chat is if you showed your ID, bro. You had to show your ID and pay money to be able to just say whatever you want in the chat. And you only people with that form of the chat could see what you said.
Single image, my ass. Actually, maybe you do. Maybe you like this kind of content, Roblox. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised. Now, what was even more worrying in this report is that Hindenburg would type the name adult in the search bar and find a group called Adult Studios with over 103,000 members. This was a group that was openly soliciting sexual favors and trading child pornography. It was very simple, right? All you had to do was find vulnerable children, give them Robux, and then trade whatever they send you with other people. This is like Jeffrey Epstein's paradise.
Wow.
And in just a few months, Hindenburg had found over 38 different Roblox groups where this was being done. Whenever one of them gets locked, another one gets made, and would take a very long time for it to get deleted by Roblox. But what was really crazy about Adult Studios in
also, I know there's like Discord groups that are like servers that are like dedicated to like finding these like games and like for the predators like find them and like do all this stuff, which is crazy. The way people they allow that is anyone can upload an image as a decal in Roblox to use in games and stuff. Oh, so it's for like the studio side of Roblox. Oh.
Isn't just the fact that it had over 103,000 people, but that it has existed since 2009. 15 years, and Roblox had taken no action.
So pretty much
whatsoever.
like ever since 3 years after Roblox was made.
These groups that had bios saying their age, of course, minors, giving their Discord username, and saying that
13 RP or trade in Discord.
They sell, you know what, for Robux. This would make anyone want to puke just reading this and seeing how even if you were to make a literal
14 IRL age selling, I have a preview
platform,
and then they have
the
a Discord
to lure in minors, it wouldn't do a better job than Roblox. It's ridiculous. When this report came out, Roblox, unlike other instances where children were actually put in danger, would respond almost immediately. You can pause the video if you'd like to read the whole thing, but in a nutshell, they'd say that they take content moderation very seriously.
I'll be honest, I feel like to an extent, there's no way you can 100% proof bad stuff from happening. So just because it happens once or a few times, I can't really blame the platform, right? But like, this is ridiculous, bro. Like, no. 15 years you had this group up? 15 years? Stop it, bro.
And that everything in that report shouldn't be taken seriously because Hindenburg themselves have an agenda. They simply want to make money profiting off of Roblox's stock going down. But overall,
okay, if that's fair, then sue them for defamation.
Hindenburg's report was like over 100 pages long. This 1.25 pages was extremely disappointing. Like, that's all you have to say for yourself, really?
So they're also defending their earnings in the Predator accusation. Like, actually, our Q1 and Q4 have been good. Like, look at this. We grew over 22% in million, and our who cares? No one cares about your books, bro.
After the report would come out, the stock would take
for investors.
a bit of a beating back in October of 2024, but in a few months would recover fully. And in around 8 months would double from $50 to $100. Even Hindenburg, who had taken down companies based on their shady practices, couldn't stop Roblox. Many people were hoping, including me, that this
kids don't care.
would finally make something happen.
Kids don't care, so if the data keeps backing up that the money keeps coming in, the investors are still going to put money in the stock because they want to make money. They don't care about if they're investing in a bad company. They just want to make as much money as they can off the company until it collapses.
This wasn't the first time someone was bringing up these problems, and Roblox had done what they had done before. Sit back, ignore it, and it'll go away by itself. Well, enough was enough. Many Roblox players who had grown up with this game had noticed just how others were being taken advantage of on the platform. Once they realized that they could report someone over 100 times for taking advantage of minors and having nothing happen to them, they decided to take matters into their own hands. This is when you would start seeing over the years many of these videos start to pop up of Roblox players working with law enforcement agencies to get predators off the game and off the streets for good. This would follow the same strategy that someone like Chris Hansen would do. On his show, To Catch a Predator, he would have someone pose as a minor, talk to these predators, lure them to a location in which the predator thinks they can take advantage of the minor, and have the police waiting for them. One of the most popular Roblox predator hunters would be Schlepp, someone who had been playing the game for many years, ever since being
Roblox
a kid.
Dream right here.
Met his girlfriend.
Look at his little profile. This is some Roblox Dream. Yo, I'm sorry. I ain't trying to diss you like that, Schlepp. I'm just saying the profile picture.
Holds a lot of love for the game, but also a victim, someone who has been groomed on the platform before and doesn't want to see a single child suffer the same fate as him. He would make quite a few videos about this and would work directly with law enforcement to arrest over 6 predators, with some having done way worse things than what they were doing on Roblox, sometimes possessing illegal material of minors on their hard drive. It really sucked how Roblox was doing nothing to protect children, but it was so admirable how people like Schlepp took time out of their day, worked countless weeks and months while coordinating with law enforcement to capture these freaks to keep children safe. But again, instead of taking notice, instead of actually trying to help them or hear what they had to say, Roblox would just ignore them, ghosting them whenever they'd reach out and never acknowledging their existence. That will be until August 10th, 2025.
I do feel like, though, to be fair, like, listen, I think Roblox is at fault for a lot of this, yes. I also do feel like, though, there needs to be a serious discussion about, like, parents cannot expect tech companies to foolproof their systems and parent for them. Like, that's just genuinely not realistic. I'm sorry. And I think the best way to get your kid to be open about stuff like this is whenever they tell you something that might be alarming or disturbing that they're doing on the internet, instead of just immediately punishing them and taking away all their technology and getting mad at them, you need to be like willing to stomach it and hold in your reaction so you can get more information about what's going on. And maybe talk to them and say, hey, this isn't good because of this. This could happen. You know, my parents, I mean, they were a little bit more extreme. They were like, you're going to get kidnapped and sold in Guatemala. Like, they were saying some crazy shit, okay? But like, they were not too far off from a lot of the stuff that happens. And every time something happened like this, they would show me the news article, explain why it happened so that I could avoid these type of people and these type of patterns. And they would be, but they wouldn't, if I were to come to them and be like, hey, this happened, they wouldn't judge me and take away all my technology and then make me feel like it was my fault. That's the problem, is like when these kids become victims to these predators, you as a parent punish the kid as if it's their fault when it's actually not. So you need to reconfigure the way you're parenting these issues and instead talk to them about it and be like, hey, this is why this isn't okay because of this. You know, we're not comfortable with this because of this. It's not safe because of this. Like, you need to stop acting like your kid is brain dead, okay? They're not brain dead, all right? And you need to stop punishing them for something that's not their fault, because then they're going to register it as, oh, instead of me stopping doing this, I'm going to keep doing it and just hide it from you. That's all you're doing. You're incentivizing your kid to hide it from you by being aggressive or having strong reactions when they come out or explain to you about a situation where they might be getting taken advantage of. And I don't understand why a lot of people don't get that. But people tend to just like, you're essentially like, the way people punish kids for being victims and stuff on the internet just causes them to continue to do it and hide it from you. And then what they'll do, which is crazy, you never thought of this, parent, they'll then vent to the predator that you tried to cut them off from about how they feel like they were unfairly punished for something the predator did. And then the predator will reaffirm the fact that it's unfair, therefore strengthening the bond between them and the predator and weakening the one between the parents and the child. So you need to be careful about this stuff, okay? Like, I feel like a lot of parents are so awful at dealing with technology, and it frustrates me so much as someone who was A, groomed, and B, had parents that were really good at it. And you might be like, well, why were you groomed if your parents were really good at it? The person I was dealing with was like, they probably could have gotten an adult to do some dumb shit too, you know? It was more so like I more knew what was going on than being completely oblivious to it. It was a bit more manipulative and tactical, but like still, I never had any of this sort of stuff happen because my parents knew about it.
Instead of finally trying to improve the platform for children's safety, they would instead take the unfathomable decision of banning the very people who were keeping their platform safe. On August 9th, 2025, Schlepp would tweet this out on his Twitter, saying, "Every account I've ever made on Roblox has been terminated, and Roblox sent a cease and desist letter to me. Not a single Roblox predator I've ever gotten arrested has faced any action similar to this. I have no words. Even though this was my livelihood and career outside of Schlepp, I have no plans to return to Roblox. I will not be making any new accounts." So this was already a very shocking development. Why would Roblox take action against someone like Schlepp doing his best
bad
to keep their
PR.
platform safe?
They don't care.
The next day
Listen, they do not care. They just want their stocks to be good. Crazy.
August 10th, 2025, he would release this video titled "Roblox is threatening to sue me for protecting kids," in which he would show us what the cease and desist letter actually said. While Roblox acknowledges that your stated intentions may be to protect children, and while it recognizes the serious nature of online predatory behavior, your methods, including failing to immediately report suspicious activity to Roblox through proper channels, are actively interfering with Roblox's established safety protocols and critically are exposing Roblox's users to increased risk. So already this paragraph—
How is making people aware of the problem exposing them to more risk? Also, what safety protocols? If he had so many safety protocols, he wouldn't be able to make this many videos about this.
Is wild. Saying that what Schlepp is doing was putting people in danger, when in reality it was only doing the opposite by arresting predators. They would then say, accordingly, and pursuant to Roblox's policies, Roblox will be closing your account.
Like, I think there is a discussion we had maybe about like these people are like farming predators for content and, you know, they're making a show out of it. And sure, whatever. But like the fact that they're making a show out of this and still somehow doing more to put these criminals away than the actual platform is crazy.
To evade an enforcement action. Therefore, we demand that you cease and desist from accessing the Roblox platform. Please be advised that Roblox reserves all rights to take any and all appropriate
legally obligated to report it?
against
Okay, I don't know how that works.
violations of the Roblox community standards continue. So not only were all of your accounts banned, not only were you being blamed for making the platform a bigger danger, but if you just as much attempted to continue using Roblox, we will be suing the hell out of you as a billion-dollar company. You know, this is really interesting because it seems to me as if they're siding with the predators. I think that's what most people concluded from the cease and desist letter. But what's ironic is their usage of using the appropriate channels to report people. This is when Schlepp would point out that he was actually threatened with a terroristic threat on this platform in Roblox by a user called Nepali Incel, went ahead and reported him, and nothing happened. In fact, the biggest irony here is that Schlepp ended up being banned before him. And what was really interesting too is the fact that Roblox was calling Schlepp a vigilante. But Jadion, a very big YouTuber that Schlepp had collaborated with multiple times to arrest predators, pointed this out about the usage of this term. Watch.
Okay, they're calling Schlepp and us vigilante groups, right? The definition of a vigilante is someone that takes the law into their own hands. Throughout any of our Roblox interactions, have you guys ever seen us beat the crap out of these dudes, handcuff them ourselves, take them over to the— No.
Yeah, they never have. There are those predator hunters on like Kick or whatever that'll see like beat up predators and weird stuff. I don't support that because I don't know. You can't verify if these are actual predators or not. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that's inhumane. And I think people that watch that are a little bit disturbed. I know it's good maybe to know a predator got beat up, but a lot of the people that watch that content, you don't care that it's a predator. You just want to see someone get beat up. Okay. But Gideon and all of them, they always reported it to police properly. They never interfered with investigations, unlike the Kick streamers that were doing this stuff. And I feel like people are roping them in with that same group, despite the fact that they never have done anything like that.
We literally just have conversations with them. We report everything to the police. When the police get there on scene, they see obviously that there was a crime committed, and they do the right thing and arrest them. I mean, I really don't know any more of a proper channel than literally reporting to the police themselves.
So essentially, Roblox was making Schlepp out to be some rogue Batman figure, ditching the entire justice system and taking justice into their own hands, deciding who's guilty and laying out the punishment to them without any intervention from the law, when this could not have been further from the truth. Schlepp would always make it a point to be coordinating with law enforcement, only supplying them with necessary evidence. That's it. That's the opposite of a vigilante. That's a good Samaritan. More and more people were
And also,
listen,
y'all forget, citizens arrests are legal, bro. They doing citizens arrests. So I'm just saying, sir. I'm just saying, that's what they doing. You can technically detain someone until cops get there. That's allowed. I'm pretty sure. So
understand that Roblox's problem with Schlep just didn't really make sense. Do you really have a problem with someone taking time out of their own day, working with law enforcement, pursuing someone legally so that they can't use your platform to take advantage of children? I mean, it didn't really make much sense. This story was so ridiculous that it would result in Schlep gaining a lot of traction. This is when he would take the opportunity to show everyone how just 10 years ago, after having been groomed for multiple years by an adult through Roblox, he decided to leave this planet, but thankfully didn't succeed. As he was laying on the hospital bed, his mother would email Roblox support, telling them about what had happened. And the response was an absolute joke. It would start off saying, hey, really sorry your son's going through a tough time. Yeah, that sucks. We're going to do everything we can. Here's a couple of suicide hotline links. But anyway, if you're having any problems with any other players on Roblox, you should really use the report abuse button. Sincerely, Carlos, customer care, Roblox. I mean, you might as well just give them a middle finger at this point. Schlep said, nearly a decade later, I see very similar emails from Roblox regarding predators we get arrested. Nothing has changed. In fact, Edwin Dorsey would point out that so many cases go unreported, undetected, or contribute to the deaths of children. Below is just one lawsuit in which a 10-year-old girl claimed abuse through Roblox. She attempted to leave this planet twice in 2020. Schlep was unfortunately far from being the only one here, with Edwin also showing us over 30 cases from 2019 up until 2025 of predators, sometimes even people who are already on the registered sex offender list, use Roblox to attain their very...
Imagine you on the registry list, you submit your ID to get like the adult features, and they still like let you through. Like, what? Hello? You can run a background check?
Disgusting goals involving minors. And to add further salt into the wound,
they got AI for that now.
After Schlep had been banned, this paid emote got released called Catgirl Stretching. And let's be real here, this is not stretching. This will definitely get used for very weird RP. What happened to Schlep was gaining traction very quickly within the Roblox community, and only a couple days after his video had released, one of the biggest Roblox YouTubers on the planet, Creekcraft, would tweet this out, saying, there's been talks between very large Roblox YouTubers planning a mass exodus from the Roblox.
Wait, low-key, why did I think this was Schlep, bro? I've seen this guy all over Twitter about this.
Roblox developers planning hashtag free Schlep chants at RDC, which is the annual Roblox convention, a few sponsorship opportunities in jeopardy due to Roblox's recent actions. That's where we're at right now. Things were getting real very fast, and Roblox couldn't afford to stay silent this time around. So on August 14th, 4 days after Schlep had posted his initial video, they would tweet out, for transparency, we are sharing more information about our decision to remove vigilantes from Roblox, linking a blog post on their website. This entire blog post would be them trying to justify not only them banning Schlep, but the ban of any vigilante on Roblox, anyone who was trying to protect children by going after predators, pretty much. I mean, look at their amazing reasoning on why they removed vigilantes. They said they've been monitoring vigilante activity on Roblox for some time. It started out as a group of people trying to give feedback to Roblox, telling them to do better, something they appreciated. But then, vigilante activity evolved. Instead of just reporting on safety issues, vigilantes started impersonating children and actively sought to connect with adult users. Those conversations mimicked inappropriate behavior and actively encouraged other users to connect on other social media and messaging platforms, thus bypassing Roblox's own safety systems. Okay,
so you're mad that they're breaking the rules of your platform to show that it's possible to break the rules of your platform? Maybe fix the platform then. You're going to ban them for using the exploits that predators use instead of changing the exploits. They're using the exploits to show you that they exist. They're like, here, we did this. You might want to look at it. Oh, we're going to ban you because you exploited our rules. Well, maybe fix the rules. Maybe fix the systems. Maybe fix the communication channels. thinking like the only person that's going to do this is the person who showed you it.
Because these vigilantes were posing as minors and taking these poor predators away from Roblox.
Like, yeah, if they were predators themselves, like using these channels, sure, ban them too, ban the accounts, but they're not. They're showing you the channels are improper or they don't work properly or there's a lot of bypasses to the moderation system. So maybe listen to them.
Platforms meant that they were just as bad as predators, if not worse, which is why they should be banned. Yeah, of course, that makes total sense. Adding that none of the activity discussed above is acceptable on Roblox. We have teams dedicated to reviewing and investigating.
Clearly the teams be asleep, okay, in the break room.
At this point, no one believes that anymore. As soon as this
your team is like their teams be like the beta version of Chat GPT looking at the text channels like shut your dumb ass the f up, bro.
Would come out, Schlepp would tweet, Roblox has tripled down in their latest newsroom post, outrageously comparing me to actual predators because my decoys tell adults that they're children. We use the same tactics that the FBI, ICAC, and local police departments use in their own operations to catch predators. This is something they actually said, dude. Similar to actual predators, they often impersonated minors, actively approached other users, then tried to lead them to other platforms to have sexually explicit conversations, which is against our terms of use. Mind you, this whole post was written by Matt Kaufman.
Then maybe like, maybe crazy idea. Maybe like make it harder to like do that. You know? It's that easy to impersonate the way that predators operate, then maybe you should patch it.
Chief Safety Officer. This is the man that needs to be held accountable, that so many children are being taken advantage of. And he's out here saying that Schlepp and what he was doing was just as bad as predators. Do you understand how crazy this is to say to someone who was literally groomed on your platform for multiple years and tried to leave this planet ending up in a hospital bed? That is wild. So of course, very shortly after, they got community noted on this tweet, saying the blog post that Roblox linked in this X post claims that Roblox takes action against bad actors after receiving a report. An experiment ran by YouTubers shows that 100 blatantly obvious sexual accounts were reported and none were removed. Referring to the video I showed you earlier titled, Do Roblox Player Reports Really Work?
I don't know how community notes work, but sometimes they be cooking.
Yet Twitter community notes wasn't having it. I mean, at this point, no one believed them anymore. This is why the day afterwards, Creek would officially announce that he was leaving the Roblox Star program and cutting all ties to the Roblox development team. This irresponsible attitude towards
you guys, the side swoop ain't out of style. Okay, low-key, his is way more severe than mine, though. I ain't gonna lie. Like, listen, I don't want to hear y'all say out my hair after this, okay?
And these very blatant lies had gone on for way too long. But what was really
did he cut his hair too after this? Because someone said that on Twitter. That's a wig? Wait, so he just wears a wig?
Schlepp funeral. And he,
you know what? I got to give it to him though. You know what they say, bro? Part of branding is having an iconic hairstyle, like psychologically.
Everyone watching him would find out that Roblox was taking measures to block
he might look goofy,
mention of Schlepp on their platform.
Good branding.
Watch as this map gets banned within a few seconds after he joins.
You know what I mean? Uh-oh. 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 Oh, I'm not banned. Okay. Well, they got us, chat. They got us. We're rebels on the run.
Yeah, you're not crazy. Starting as early as August 13th, 2025, if you made a new account on Roblox and used Schlepp in its name, it would get banned.
This is what they did with Quackity.
If you put the name Schlepp in your bio, you'd get a warning.
But predators are fine though. But like, I'm 14 and I had cell services. It's fine as a bio tag.
If you want to call your account Jeffrey Epstein, you can. You'll get no ban, no warning. Great. Schlepp would tweet out, Schlepp games are allegedly being taken down. Same with shirts and assets, but not bathroom games. I mean, at this point, it had barely just been 5 days since Schlepp released his video, and this had already reached the mainstream. It was that ridiculous. Soon enough, you had a congressman by the name of Ro Khanna reach out to Schlepp directly concerning Roblox's child safety issues, only to then afterwards create a petition demanding that Roblox not only take...
I'm gonna be honest with you, like, listen, I'm not gonna lie. Like, what do petitions really do? Like, no, because there's no legal backing for them, right? It's just to show a company that like this many people support something. That's kind of the point of it, right? Because I've always viewed petitions as like kind of useless. Because like I feel like it doesn't lead to much change normally, you know? Because like the company could just ignore it.
accountability, but vows to do better in regards to child safety as soon as possible. At the same time, the Attorney General of Louisiana, Liz Murrill, would sue Roblox directly, saying that it endangers the safety of the children of Louisiana and that it's overrun with harmful content and child predators because it prioritizes user growth, revenue, and profits over child safety. She would then conduct a press release showing off some of the crazy
imagine printing this out on a billboard and pulling it out in Congress.
This is the kind of obscene garbage that they are peddling to our children in Louisiana. I will not stand by and watch this company grow.
Imagine your job is the guy to stand there with the sign that says like, escape the Diddy party, as she's like giving this serious ass speech. Imagine you gotta be the guy that's like holding the sign with the escape the Diddy. That's crazy. That's crazy, bro. That is so crazy. I'm not trying to make fun of the fact that Roblox is doing this, by the way. I'm just making fun of how absurd this is. Like, I never in my life would think there'd be a printed out sign of escape from the Diddy party as a showing material for like a congresswoman to give like speech. Like, I just, this is, we really are in the future, man.
From exploiting children and facilitating child
like, I'm surprised she even knows what Roblox is, you know?
That is not something you want an Attorney General of a state of the United States to say about you. And if you thought things couldn't get worse, then Chris Hansen.
Like I said, you need a... Come on, man. Pack it up, bro. You making another documentary?
Behind To Catch a Predator came out of retirement saying that he was going to cover what was happening with Roblox.
I'm sorry.
That's how...
Ever since he fumbled that one Onision case and all that, I'm like, I don't like
you know that you
him getting involved in everything.
Fucked up. He's working directly with Schlepp to investigate what's going on with Roblox and will hopefully be releasing a documentary on it sometime in the future. All of this would culminate in the Roblox stock losing around 7% of its market capitalization within just the span of 24 hours. In other words, the company had lost over $12 billion.
That's only 7%?
And only after being sued by the Louisiana Attorney General would they finally take down a game that has been reported for months on end by multiple community members by the name of XYZ Public Bathroom Simulator. It's insane. They would then say that they're planning to restrict social hangouts that include private spaces such as bathrooms or bedrooms to ID verified 17+ users, trying their best to do damage control, but only making it worse.
So they haven't been ID verifying the older accounts anyways?
Would quote tweet this and say, "This is a crazy hill to die on. Roblox bathroom games are games. Making them 17+ doesn't solve the issue. 17-year-olds are still minors. Roblox is still allowing kids to be in these games. Holy shit, just ban the damn games. Nobody wants sex games on the platform." I mean, yes, this is such a weird hill to die on. Player numbers do matter. Profit does matter for a company, but not through things like this. If banning games revolving around bathrooms and bedrooms is going to affect your player count and stock price so much, then maybe your company doesn't deserve to exist in the first place. And I mean, by that point, it was official.
Also, if you're so scared that banning games that target minors that are made for predators is going to lower the stock of your company, then that means your player base is a significant amount of your user base is predators. And so you want to keep the predators as your profit instead of banning them. Like, it's crazy.
This had reached mainstream media, the average person, more importantly, parents of children who play this game. It had blown beyond proportion. How could a company be so stupid?
Having kids in the digital age gotta be horrifying. I ain't gonna lie, with AI and stuff too.
Roblox had to make a solid statement this time to save its skin from being completely burnt to a crisp. So what did they do? They, of course, made the situation 1,000 times worse. On August 16th, 2025, David Baszucki, the CEO of Roblox, would tweet this out, saying, "Safety and civility have always been our top priority.
You going out sad, man.
Our safety releases over the past few weeks, including our updated approach to vigilantism. We also preview additional releases." And
bro's like, "Yeah, so we've been peddling predators. So now I'm going to show you my face and talk to you, so people remember that I'm the one that supported this." Yo, just do the white text background PR statement, bro. You busted out with your face and full name is crazy work. I ain't gonna lie. Like, you really trying to be like, go down for this. Like, you trying to go down for being like, yes, I supported this horrible decision. Like, what? I'm a face reveal after I get outed as being a bad person. Like, yo, come on. The logic, man. Y'all bugging. Like, what is this, bro?
The works, linking a YouTube video. The official Roblox account would retweet this and outline the exact topics discussed
That's
here.
crazy.
Okay, well, let's check it out.
Nah.
Oh, wait, there's no need. Just look at this. Around the 15-minute
Just in
mark,
case you didn't know, me, yeah, my face, I supported this decision. Yeah, me, this horrible decision, that was me. Like, yo, you some people, bro, I cannot fathom that. Bro wants to put his face over this, over the Predator controversy. Like, you should be in hiding, sir. Like, what?
Chief Safety Officer of Roblox would have to say about vigilantes, more specifically people like Schlep. They would report to the police, and then only after would they let Roblox know. To which Schlep would say, are we serious right now? You're upset that I was reporting information to the police before reporting it to Roblox? Like, what the
Yeah, that
fuck?
is crazy.
Chief Safety Officer, by the way. I mean, look, guys, this video was 40 minutes of mumbo jumbo. It was the most robotic, cringe, and tone-deaf thing I've ever seen in my life. Probably written by ChatGPT and approved by like a team of 50 lawyers. They talked a lot, but essentially said nothing. The same things over and over again. Guys, we have tools. We have
I feel like asking companies for answers on serious stuff is so stupid because they're always going to go through hella lawyers and you're never going to find anything out. You just aren't. You know what I'm like? You really just aren't. It's never going to happen.
Doing our best. Well, your best isn't enough. And the like to dislike ratio shows what people think of your stupid statement. Not to mention that the CEO got
YouTube needs to bring back dislikes, bro. I have a plugin to see them, I think.
History of refusing to take action against sexual predators, linking 4 different sources. The CEO is being absolutely cooked, so it came as no surprise that just a day later, a petition calling for the removal of David Baszucki had received over 100,000
What you get for putting your face on it, sir?
signatures. The campaign accused Roblox leadership of putting children on the platform at risk and ignoring community concerns. And as all this was happening, as they were saying that their safety features were...
Bro, that people started using Braille and Morse code. Oh, you're lying to me, bro. Nah, you're lying to me, bro. But on the real, how do you moderate that?
Amazing. As they were banning the word schlep in their game, a user made this video and Schlep reposted it. Just watch for yourself. I mean, it's self-explanatory. Look at this mess.
For the selling for maps account, well, I did the crazy thing. I don't know if I was stupid. Maybe I am an actual f***ing idiot. I tried reporting this profile. I reported it saying, yo, Roblox, maps, this is a dog whistle for predators, and the bio is in Morse code, soliciting photos. And I'm just going to refresh the page in case you don't believe me, but nothing happened to their profile, even though their username is clearly bad. And I'm pointing out their username because Roblox, what they're doing right now is they are moderating users with hashtag free schlep in their display name. If you put free schlep in your display name on Roblox, you will get punished.
Look, Mujin, love you, my man. What is this echo, bro? You had it playing on your desktop item and your speaker? Like, come on now.
Roblox will punish hashtag free schlep, but not selling for maps 1.
I mean, honestly, at this point, if I was a predator, I'd be jumping up and down, celebrating
Yeah,
the
but
fact that
don't
there was
know,
a
map stands for
multi-billion
minor attractive people.
dollar company out there that was protecting me. And instead, banning someone who would go after me. I mean, seriously, can you make this any worse? What was Roblox even doing right now? Well, they were debating the age-old question, 17 or 18. In response for 17-year-olds being allowed into social hangouts that include private spaces such as bathrooms or bedrooms, Roblox has stated they are now considering 17 versus 18 for these experiences.
Okay, so we're arguing the semantics of 1 year over like every other issue that has been brought up. Word.
It's like no matter what, you could take anything away from them. You could call them predators, but you could not take the bathrooms and bedrooms away from them. It's like, what the fuck? Why are you dying on this hill? Well, we'd start to understand why. You see, the chief security officer, Matt Kaufman, has some interesting badges in his inventory.
So he a predator. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's like that one Discord mod thing again, bro. We're like the guy, yo, I knew he was a double agent, bro. I knew he was an op. I was like, there's no way they're like, this is that. Like, there's no way. Like, there gotta be somewhere going on. Like, some of y'all gotta be a part of it, bro.
Badges can be collected by playing specific levels, and his badges tell us a very interesting story. For example, he had played a game called Pilchero Outfits, closed-off condo game in Roblox, the Hatch event. Another badge he had was from Dollhouse RP. placed under review just on August 16th after this whole scandal had broken out. This is a game that was full of info sharing, age play, dating, etc. He also had a badge from a now banned game called Teddy's Largest
He's one of them.
Condo,
They
and
not
its
like
peak was
us.
had over 76 million players, and it was a dating game. He has a Halloween 2024
Also, yeah, dating games should just be banned on Roblox, respectfully. Like, why are those a thing?
badge that was only available for a limited time. Another game he played and has a badge for was Your Sus Roommate, which was banned. It was a suggestive AI girlfriend game with a sus ending. Last but not least, he had a badge for Row Meet, a game that was closed by its own developers. This was an Omegle/Tinder-esque game that often saw dating and predatory behavior occur. Interesting. You know, I wish we would finally be able to see the client list of Jeffrey Epstein, because I have a sneaking suspicion that maybe Matt Kaufman is on those papers. Now, of course, some people would argue that he was visiting these levels to ban them, but as the chief safety officer, you don't spend your time on Roblox banning individual games. The underpaid moderators do that. That's why it's so suspicious. But this behavior didn't seem to be exclusive to the chief safety officer. No, this seemed to be a company-wide mindset. Schlepp would tweet out, "This is an alleged quote from a Roblox administrator in a child safety lawsuit." It said, "As one former Roblox employee explained in describing the company's approach to child safety, you have to make a decision, right? You can keep your players safe, but then it will be less of them on the platform. Or you just let them do what they want to do. And then the numbers all look good and investors will be happy." I mean, at this point, it was only confirming what we already knew. Roblox just seemed the kind of company that would easily, in a heartbeat, bring back slavery if it meant higher player count and more money. There were absolutely no morals at play here. Let these children have their lives completely ruined because we simply don't want to see our player counts drop. That's evil. That's disgusting. And speaking of evil and disgusting, both MasterCard and Visa are facing immense backlash after forcing Steam and itch.io to remove certain adult games off their platforms. Now, bear in mind, these platforms actually do look out for children and make it extremely hard for them to access such games. I don't know much about itch, but I know that on Steam, there are some very strict parental controls, and children will never be able to even see any games deemed adult. These were adult games made for adults. But Visa and MasterCard, the companies that pretty much monopolize payment processing in the world, didn't care. Now, what's really interesting here is that both Visa and MasterCard are still very happily accepting payments on behalf of Roblox, showing absolutely zero disagreement and not even comment.
Okay, I get it, but like, I feel like we're like, the outrage is we're focused on the wrong thing now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really think okay, they process payments still. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really think this is on Visa or MasterCard's responsibility at all, if I'm being honest with you, because they were operating under the assumption that Roblox was fine prior to this, right? So I don't know. I do feel like it's we should be mad at Roblox, not the payment processing companies. I don't know.
Once about what's going on in regards to children's safety. In fact, what's even better is that both of them are in direct partnership with Roblox, with Visa in particular having acted as a sponsor at some point. So what gives? An adult can play an adult game, but when children do, it's okay?
I guess it's a little bit hypocritical,
but that's kind of weird. But the good news is that even though Visa and MasterCard are spineless and are not doing anything in regards to this, Schlepp is enlisting the help of a law firm in order to sue Roblox over what they did to him. I wish him the absolute best, and I really hope
that's scary. I'm not gonna lie.
He wipes the floor with them in court. He deserves it. Look, overall, this thing has been such a ridiculous mess. It feels like a fever dream. How could the CEO, the child safety officer, just everyone involved in the executive team of this company see this and think
I would be too scared to sue Roblox if I was him. But at the same time, if you win that case, you are set for life.
Company and make a lot
of
money.
And Roblox is going down.
It at the expense of children. When you're
because if he wins a civil case suing Roblox, then that will open a lot of press and attention for police and investigators to maybe open a criminal case. Or maybe have like the FTC sue them or something.
Innocence. It simply doesn't make sense. And now people are hoping that unlike every other major controversy that had happened beforehand in regards to child safety with Roblox, this time would be different, especially with the law going after them. At the same time though, while many want to see Roblox face justice, they don't want this used as an excuse to enact something similar to the UK Online Safety Act in the US. In other words, they don't want lawmakers to limit online free speech while using child safety as an excuse. No
Yeah,
one's
that
falling
is
for
kind of
that.
freaky
The UK
too.
right now is pathetic. It's dystopian. So if you're American, definitely go sign that petition by Rokana. Definitely express your discontent with this company to your local congressman or senator or whatever, and let's get this company to finally face accountability for all the harm that they have done and continue to do on a daily basis.
Yeah, what they're
Guys,
doing in the
thank you
UK
so
is
much for
crazy because
watching
they're
this
just
video.
trying to get like monopolized controls of all communication channels, and that way they can like send out propaganda essentially. And they're just gonna say child safety because that's the only way like people will be sensitive enough to agree to it, because child safety is something that most people care about if you're not crazy. So they're gonna like try to trigger you with it as like a way to kind of get you to like act and think it's just, when like there's definitely other ways to handle these sort of things.
Until the very end. I'm sorry for the echo. There's not much I can do about the room I'm in right now. I'll see you in the next video whenever
Damn, crazy.